Life is not always a smooth road. Sometimes it feels like an endless series of storms. But those who keep walking through the rain often reach the sunshine. Among the many inspiring stories of persistence and faith, the journey of Joanne Kathleen Rowling, the author of the world-famous Harry Potter series, stands as a shining example. Rowling's path to success was not paved with comfort, wealth, or privilege. Instead, it was filled with rejections, failures, financial struggles, and emotional breakdowns. Yet with her unshakable belief in her dream, she turned her darkest days into the foundation of one of the greatest literary successes in history. This is the story of how a struggling single mother, once living in poverty, became the creator of a magical world that inspired millions across the globe. Joanne Rowling was born on 31st July 1965 in Yate, England. From a very young age, she loved stories. She would spend hours inventing characters and imagining magical worlds. At just 6 years old, she wrote her first story about a rabbit. By the time she was a teenager, she had filled notebooks with fantasy ideas. Despite her passion, Rowling's life was not free from challenges. She often described her childhood as far from happy, with a difficult relationship with her father and the illness of her mother. Yet her imagination became her safe place. Books and writing gave her strength when reality felt harsh. As Rowling grew older, her life became even more complicated. She attended the University of Exeter, where she studied French and classics, but her heart was always in storytelling. After university, she worked various jobs, but none satisfied her. In 1990, tragedy struck. Her mother passed away after a long battle with multiple sclerosis. Rowling was devastated. She had been working on the early ideas of Harry Potter, and her mother never got to know about the magical world her daughter was creating. This loss left a permanent mark on Rowling's heart, and themes of death and hope became central in her writing. Shortly after, Rowling moved to Portugal to work as an English teacher. There she married and gave birth to her daughter Jessica. However, the marriage was short-lived and ended in separation. By 1993, Rowling returned to the UK as a single mother, unemployed, and with barely any money. Rowling herself has admitted that this period of her life was one of the lowest. She lived on welfare benefits, struggled to feed her daughter, and often felt like a failure. She described herself as the biggest failure I knew. At one point, she even battled clinical depression and had thoughts of giving up on life. The dark creatures known as Dementors in the Harry Potter series were later inspired by these haunting experiences. But instead of surrendering, Rowling made a decision. I will keep writing. Even if I fail, I must try. Armed with a second-hand typewriter, sitting in cafes while her baby slept beside her, Rowling began writing her magical story about a boy who didn't know he was a wizard. In 1995, after years of hard work, Rowling completed her manuscript of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Excited and nervous, she sent the manuscript to publishers, but the dream did not come true instantly. One by one, 12 publishing houses rejected her manuscript. Some said the book was too long, others believed children wouldn't read such fantasy. Each rejection was a painful blow. Still, Rowling refused to give up. She believed in Harry Potter and the world she had created. Finally, in 1996, Bloomsbury Publishing agreed to publish her book. But even they were cautious. The editor advised Rowling to get a day job because there was little money in children's books. What they didn't know was that Harry Potter was about to change the world. In 1997, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was published with only 500 copies in its first edition. Some of these copies were sent to libraries. Today, those first editions are worth thousands of dollars. The book quickly gained attention, first among children, then among adults. Rowling's storytelling, filled with magic, friendship, courage, and hope, touched hearts everywhere. Soon, sequels followed. The Chamber of Secrets, The Prisoner of Azkaban, and so on. Each new release broke records. Bookstores were packed with children waiting at midnight for the latest Harry Potter book. The series was translated into over 80 languages, selling more than 500 million copies worldwide. Hollywood soon joined in, and the Harry Potter movies became some of the most successful films of all time. From poverty to international fame, Rowling's life had transformed completely. Failure is not the end, Rowling once said. Failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. Hitting rock bottom gave her the freedom to focus only on what mattered most. Writing. Believe in your dreams even when others don't. 12 publishers rejected her. If she had given up after the first or second rejection, the world would never have known Harry Potter. Pain can fuel creativity. Her struggles with loss, depression, and poverty were not wasted. She transformed her pain into powerful stories that gave hope to millions. Rowling's journey reminds us that big dreams don't happen overnight. It took her 7 years from the first idea to the first book. Patience and persistence were key. What makes Rowling's story even more inspiring is her generosity. After achieving wealth, she did not keep it all to herself. She became one of the world's biggest philanthropists, donating millions to causes like poverty relief, medical research, and children's welfare. She also remained humble, reminding people that money and fame are not the real measures of success. For her, success was about doing what she loved, writing, and touching lives through her. Words J.K. Rowling's. Life is a powerful reminder that our darkest days can become the foundation of our brightest tomorrow. From a struggling single mother, rejected by publishers and battling depression, she rose to become one of the most beloved authors in history.